bring it to life, because that's what we do and that's who we are.
Yeah,
Is look, there.
It works.
The people listening to us on the radio cannot see that the camera's working, but it is.
Yes. You know, it doesn't matter how prepared you get. You seem to forget something, and you know, we think, oh, that's just bad manners. No, 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 no. There's a reason off for this, and there should be no more denigration. You know, I forgot my sheets because, guess what? I'm still running on a flea mode of getting all excited because I officially finished my dissertation on Friday.
Yay!
Yay! And I officially sent it out on Sunday night.
Dr. Reed says applause.
Thank you, thank you. This is so huge. It's been like 5 years in the making. You know, I've only needed like 10,000 words. Whoopee, you can do that in a thesis. I come up with almost 50,000 words, right? Because by the, it said it was 47, and then, I went through and ended up getting like 48 or 49,000. I'm like, oh, well, it's done. I sent it in. I'm all excited. Now just let it release. It's very important that when you know that there's it could be 8 weeks before you hear, you release it. You release the expectations, live in expectancy, knowing that something's going to happen, and the universe is going to fine-tune you, whether it is they send it back and say you have to fix something, so it can be a better paper, or they send it back and say it's, hey, you passed, you're Dr. Brenda Bates, medicine woman, or they may say, oh my gosh, this is so good, why don't you come out for a conference? So, and it could be more than ever I can imagine. All I know is that if I were just to be in a human mindset, I would imagine that I get the dissertation, I got it done, and then I'd be Dr. Brenda Bates. But you never know what it's going to be. And so I live in expectancy, expecting something good's going to happen, and knowing that whatever it is, it's going to help my growth to where I need to go. So we have a wonderful board full, and the chat room's full. We love to see all this. Remember to subscribe to our channel, whether it is in YouTube or Blog Talk, or our Facebook pages. But we're there.
Yes, we are. We're there.
And some of you have been noticing that I'm trying to figure out how to do tweet deck and tweet from the tweeter to the Twitter to the Facebook to the Facebook to the Twitter, and I got it all figured out. I just don't understand the timing thing. So when I send something out, I have to wait for the half-hour mark. So people will probably end up getting that, oh, you'll be going live at 2, and it'll pop up at 2:30. So I'll have to get the timing down. So
yeah, it does happen. Because
Yeah.
I've been using TweetDeck for a couple weeks now, and
yeah, so and there's a timer on it, and I haven't gotten that far yet on my learning on that.
hey, the fact that you can link your Twitter to Facebook, to the B to the R to the E to the N,
B-R-E-N. Bren, that's
Bren.
me.
Bren.
Okay, so what we're going to do is she's going to bring on the first caller while I go get my papers, because like I said, I wasn't completely prepared.
Okay, we have area code 602. You are on the air with Brenda and Jen.
Hi, Brenda and Jen. This is Betty in Arizona.
Hi there.
How are you?
Okay, how are you doing? How can we help you?
Oh, I thought I saw on your webpage that you can do a general reading, so I was wondering whether you could do that for me, please.
Okay, do you have any specific question or just a general reading?
A general reading regarding my income increasing soon.
Okay.
Okay, a little bit more specific, because there's like, we have 41 thoughts per minute, and every time we think, we can change some of those thoughts based on whether we change the answer, yes or no, and then there's those concrete thoughts that always creep up that create your reality every day. So what we're going to look for, because she said income, correct? Okay. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do, I'm not sure why all of a sudden my papers are completely whacked up. It's alright. Take this one. She's going to draw some cards. Apparently I am too, because I have a sheet in front of me that I use that helps me fine tune. There's a nervousness I'm feeling, and now my teeth hurt. So there must be some decisions that you have to make. So you're not quite in the waiting room. The waiting room is where that transitional state before you get answers. It's like you're right before you get into the waiting room. So you have to make a decision, it looks like. But I don't know if you even know the decision. The only thing that keeps coming to my mind is that there's a part of you that wants to move forward in a direction that's unclear, but you kind of know you want to. But then there's all these other voices, whether they're real people or past voices, and it's like the shoulds. What's the right thing to do? Should I go on that path? People don't like that. Maybe I shouldn't do that. And there's a part of you that wants to be so bold and adventurous, because right now it feels like it's settling because of the comfort zones or the inhibitions that sit there. Does any of this make sense?
No.
Okay, then we will ask for more clarity. Jen, go ahead.
Okay, so the cards that I pulled say that something needs to be purified, something needs to be released, whether it's a strategy or belief system, because the reading that I get is that people break promises, or no, it's not you breaking the promise, it's a promise is broken. And once that happens, there are no blessings in the situation and unable to focus. You don't want to focus on that anymore because the promise is broken. I'm not going to look for any, there's no blessings, and I don't want to focus on that anymore. And I also pulled a card from Wisdom of the Hidden Realms, which is the Spirit Whisperer as a challenger, which warns that you're about to go astray and you need her guidance. Red flags are waving and you must pay attention lest you find yourself cleaning up messes you didn't even know you'd made. She challenges you to start again and trust your intuition. In time, you will be back on track. On this occasion, you can't possibly go wrong since you're much more aware of the possible challenges you need to step away from.
So you have a job, correct?
Yeah, I have a career. I don't have a job per se because I get my commissions whenever I write up somebody. So it's not like I work 8 to 5.
Okay.
So I don't really have a job.
So do you like your career?
Yeah, I love it. I've been doing it for 23 years.
Okay. And what, I drew some cards before I did the reading, and they said, and the Colette Baron Reed, the Enchanted Map, and the Magical Map Shifter is reversed. It says, may bring you opposite of what you seek. Perhaps you're in denial about your situation and refuse to see the truth. Or maybe you've been traveling down a path that has constantly led you to the field of poppies, where you fall asleep and dream of desires that never find their form. To have the life you really want, you must match a vibrational energy and resonate with it. Sometimes our greatest hurts and disappointments are they awakened us to our need to shift to a higher frequency. If your heart aches because someone is breaking it, this discomfort will lead you to a more authentic life. Don't linger in the pain or blame in the Magical Map Shifter, for alerting you is the illusion you clung to. Now that treasure lies somewhere else and can be recovered once you've healed the wound that is reflected in those who come to you as a catalyst for growth. As you experience yourself transforming into the highest version of yourself, you'll come to understand that you're always fortunate when you meet up with the Magical Map Shifter. And the second card that came up was a balancing act, but it was in reverse. This is a time when it's important to address the areas of your life where there is discord. Are you fixated on getting your own way? Are you obsessed with one thing, neglecting essential matters that require your attention? Taking your own inventory is a necessary step towards rebalancing your life. It's the only way to reach an equitable solution. Adjust yourself to the conditions of your environment that you have no control over, and a balance will come much more easily. If there is to be fairness, it would come from you. Okay, it sounds like you're in the beginning stages of shifting who you are. The authentic part of you wants to shine more. There's more that you want to learn, or maybe an area of growth that you want to go in. Your soul is telling me that there's a part of you that's ready to take another shift into maybe a career change, or somewhere along your career, but change it in a different direction. Does this make sense?
Not really, other than me getting my inheritance in January. My life will be changing quite a bit then, but I was more referring to like Wednesday or next week regarding my finances, not maybe 3-4 months from now.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to specifically just address that and just say, okay, she wants to know about her finances next week. She wants to know if she's going to have any. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, there's a gentleman that's coming back from San Diego tomorrow night, and he was going to give me $1,500 on Wednesday because the check came in, but he already had left last Wednesday to go to San Diego.
Okay.
And then there's also a client by the name of James. I wrote him up on the 25th of April, but he's really engrossed in remodeling his house and stuff like that, so he hasn't given me the rest of the information I need to process to get his policy approved.
Okay. And I asked the situation, okay, so why is it these two people don't seem to be paying? And they said that it has to do with your growth process of your self-esteem. And that as far as will these people pay, will the first gentleman she's talking about, will he pay? And I'm going to have Jen just pull a card. Will he pay? Well, it doesn't feel like it's at home. It looks like you're going to be a little bit uncomfortable. What about the second guy? Is he going to cooperate about the situation? And it looks like there's a part of you that's going to have to go through some bumps and obstacles in your way in order for the growth to occur. So basically the first part of the reading was a heads up about your soul's going through some turbulence because it wants you to change. The turbulence is going to be, you could have issues with money. Now, still hold out for hope. Don't lose the power of suggestion. Say thank you to the angels for bringing more clarity within your space to make sure you have money, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. Start looking in a different direction. It just seems like, yeah, again, what did you get, Jen?
It's about how you hear information. The card that came up from the angel healing was about your ear chakra. So it's about how you take it and hear the information that also may need to be healed or addressed. And I was going to suggest asking Archangels Michael and Raphael to help in the healing if there's any, you want their guidance as far as healing.
And I asked another question to the angels about, what does she need to do in order for the money to come to pass? They said, let go of the control issues. Let go of the expectation that the only way you can get money right now is from them too. Just release that and let the spirit bring to you. Maybe somebody else wants to come in and, surprise you and say, oh, I want to do this, and then there's money that has been given. Because right now the universe is, like I said, you're sitting, before you get to sculpt and to unfold it all the way, there's something that you have to do before you can get to that next step. And like I said, this is all about wanting you to shift. I can't give you the answers that you seek because you're at the beginning thresholds of big change. As far as, like I said, the control issues, you'll have to decide whether or not do you want to focus on thinking, okay, I need money, they're the only places I can get it from, or just let that go and release it and say, where else can I get money from? Okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so sometimes the answers we seek aren't, it's the top one, I don't know what's happening. The answers we seek don't seem to come up sometimes, and that's because it depends on what stage of growth that your soul is in at this point. She's ready to witness to herself. So if she was just in her human mindset, it'll be like an everyday life event, and it'll look like it's coming out of nowhere. And it won't make any sense because you're thinking, what the hell? So what happened was that she got a whispering opportunity of information. And those are kind of tricky because you don't want to play with the power of suggestion. Power of suggestion is that, oh my God, I got to look forward to this, and this is going to happen. No, there's a heads up. It's like getting a premonition to some degree that, well, if you don't want this outcome to happen, well, how can you work with your spirit so that you can get the outcome that you seek? Does this make sense? And releasing it, I haven't put the tool up, and you think it would be fairly simple, but when you say releasing it, a lot of people don't catch what you're saying. Yeah, I released it.
Yeah, because you were telling me that there were a few things that I needed to release. Well, you need to release such and such. That's awesome. How am I supposed to exactly do that?
Because
So then that's what we've been unfolding as to a healing tool of whatever you want to call the releasing.
right, and the releasing is, it's like when you feel the rope leave your hands. When you feel, if you're holding on to something, or if you feel your loved one and all of a sudden you feel it leave you, the subconscious mind's going, oh, but I don't like change, and they don't like that releasing. But you can make it as simple as changing your underwear, and that is that you're releasing the panties off, you're just letting it go, you put them in the laundry, you're done with it, you don't want that. You're releasing it by wiping off the food off your face. You're releasing it, you can release it, and when I say with dreams and ideas, is stop putting your focus there. The universe is going to take care of it. But if you have doubt and fear, then you tap it out. When in doubt, tap it out. Because it will interfere with the releasing process. The biggest thing is that when I was doing Empowerment Through Enlightenment since 2004, and my spirit guides argue with me, oh, you think it's 2003. Well, whatever year it was, I've been doing it weekly. And it is to help you get out of the matrix. It's to help you start seeing with your soul and listening to the soul language for a better life. And just recently I was told, let it go. So I finally said, okay, I released it. I stopped having class, but before that I just released it and said, I let you go. And I literally felt the energy of it to leave, the color, the number, let it go. And then the next day I got called for doing a summit. A telesummit is going to launch you in another direction. But without releasing it, I couldn't take the energy that I had and apply it to the part of the future that's unfolding for me. So, we're going to take our next caller after this break. So who's up next, just to let everybody know?
Area code 917 is on deck and up next after we take this small break.
Thank you very much.
And you are on the air.
Hello, ladies. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Hi.
Okay. How are you?
We're good, and how are you?
I'm good. My name is Michelle. I'm calling from New York. I'm in Ocean Middle Street. That's why I asked if you can hear me. But I have a question regarding my love life.
Okay.
Alright, so I met somebody during the summertime, and we started as a friendship, and eventually, we exchanged numbers. And as of now, it's still a friendship level, but I've always been the one reaching out to keep the communication going. So 2 weeks ago, I finally made up my mind and decided that it's time for me to just kind of let go and just wait to see if I can receive some kind of feedback. But since then, there has been no communication, so I'm just curious. Yeah, if it's over or is it a break? So that's, hopefully you can give me an answer.
Okay. So the first thing is that they're happy that you made the effort. It's important to remember to put that energy out there. When you're physically doing something, you can do it, but you need to physically put that energy out there. It's like when people become famous or they go in for a job interview, they physically can do it, but if they don't have all of their energy into it, you're not going to be able to receive the reward. So they are glad that you're making the effort. Just be aware of everything around you. Start to intentionally say, if there's any fears about this whole thing, it needs to be addressed. Because the fears are what actually are causing the situation where she cannot, this person cannot respond to you. Because of the energy that happens to be around you will actually be a put-off energy than one that says welcome and receive. Jen will tell you a quick story that when she was in a place that she wanted to meet people, and the intention was to go in and say, okay, I would like to dance with somebody. I would like to meet somebody. And for the first, how long was it? Half hour, an hour, or how long?
Well, yeah, once people started getting out on the dance floor, it was like a half hour where people were just
ignoring her, like
ignoring
she didn't exist.
I wasn't even there.
And so she went into the bathroom and says, okay, what do I do? Do I stink? Do I have food on my face? What's the deal? But she went into awareness that she's going to observe. When she got out of the bathroom and sat down, it wasn't even a matter of a few minutes. This guy beelined over to her and says to you,
hey, did you know that you're putting out there a vibe out there?
And
that's kind of pushing people away. And I said, oh my gosh, that's not my intention at all.
Right, so even though our intention is we feel like we're putting ourselves out there, sometimes it's those fears on the inside that says, oh my God, I don't really want to do this. So they want you to free yourself of the details of the way that you feel, the way that you're afraid, the way that it may not work, all of the what ifs, all the anxiety. Does this make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay, so again, we're healing tools. We use a lot of them. And if we were to address this, well, actually, I'm going to have her give you the card that she drew. Go ahead and read this to him.
And I feel like this is, so you're asking the question, and you will be getting a healing tool. And so the Hawk Prince appears with good news. He flies into your life to alert you that a message is coming to help you manifest your destiny. Expect a phone call, letter, email, or conversation that lets you know the next step to take toward your greatest good, or to tell you that you've arrived at an important stage along your path. The Hawk Prince is also the ally for spirit communication. So pay attention when you think you hear something important pop out at you on the radio, on TV, or overhearing conversations of strangers. Spirit is constantly in dialogue with you. Are you listening? Stay open and expect Spirit to speak to you and show you the way to your prosperity in all aspects of your life.
Okay, so at 3 years old, there was a part of you that became very self-conscious of right and wrong. That you got to do it this way, you can't do it that way. There's consequences if you do it that way. And there's all these rules and manners. And what happens is that you do so much self-correction that you go into denigrating yourself, saying you're doing it wrong, and there's a part of you that's learning to be more free to just express that part. It says, I can do this. But yet you have all of these voices in your head from your parents or relatives or even classmates, peers, that are saying, well, what are you, a dumbass? You shouldn't be doing that. And what it is you're breaking free from that old talking, that old society of way to speaking to you that you have to do it right versus what they think is wrong, but it's really right for you. Are you with us so far? You understand?
Yes.
Okay. So they're saying that when you heal that 3-year-old self about how you have to constantly correct yourself to say whether it's right or wrong, you'll actually get to help that inner child of yours to become more innocent instead of so filled with so much pain and sorrow because you're going to screw up at any second. When you heal this, then you're going to be able to be safe to love again. But right now, you don't feel it's safe to love because all you feel is that somebody's going to be correcting you at any time. And what'd you get, Jen?
That with this healing on the DNA level, they want you, there's something that needs to emerge. Part of you needs to emerge, and through the healing, through your DNA, that's what they want you to focus on.
So what we want you to understand is that we're not just medicine women, we also have healing tools. And I'm going to suggest to you that you go to mwreveal.com. That's M as in medicine, W as in women, reveal, REVEAL.com. On the left is healing tools. You're going to look for thought management. And thought management, it'll explain to you what you need to do. And then you need to do what's called meridian tapping. So you'll look for meridian tapping. And one of the things that you're going to be tapping out will be, is I can't do it right. I'm going to do it wrong. I push people away. You're going to hear all these different sentences about how you degrade yourself, how you're judging yourself. And you really need to tap those out because it has the phrase on there, watch the video, read the instructions, and you may want to tap out, you think that everything you do is wrong. Okay, because right now, like I said, there's a part of you, the little part of yourself that cannot move beyond 3 years old when it comes to having healthy relationships with people because there's that emotional imbalance that you're going to have to get in trouble. All right?
Okay. Yeah, but so you said I'm going to get a response. Is that what you said, right? What
if you heal, you'll get a response. But if you don't heal, then you're going to get the same as what you got before, and that is.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm deciding that's the reason when I decided to stop communicating because I was just going to work on myself and then just leave it to the universe.
Exactly.
Just take it from there.
Exactly, because right now you're just going to get what you got, and then they're telling you that when you learn to put yourself out there, because that 3-year-old is scared to put that energy out there that says I can receive love, because right now, like, it's all about right and wrong. You're going to do it wrong. So heal out those issues. Re-listen to the archives. Watch the YouTube videos. Go to MW Reveal or Medicine Women Reveal on YouTube and find us. Watch it. Listen to it again, because there's a lot of gems and there's a lot of stuff that we just told you that you need to directly heal. Okay, but it will change the energy of your attraction factor. All right, thank you, dear.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank
namaste.
you. Take care.
All right, so we'll take the next caller.
And that would be area code 718. You are on the air with Brenda and Jen.
Hello.
Hi, Brenda and Jen. How are you?
Good, and how are you?
I'm fine.
How can we help you?
My name is Tanya. I'm also calling from New York. And I wanted to get your views on a business I'm working on. And actually, I'm just trying to get financing for it. And I just wanted to see where you thought things were going. Go ahead.
All right, so the thing they first show me is that how you do anything is how you do everything. So in order for you to get ahead, you have to fight for what you want. Have you ever felt like you had to fight for what you want?
Yes, that's
Okay.
what I'm doing now.
So that's the same pattern that you're going to recreate over and over and over, is that you're supposed to fight for it. Will you get in the end? Yes, because that's where you're pushing your persistence and your conviction that, yeah, this is what I want. But so my question to the soul is that, why does she have to do this? Why does she have to go into fight mode? Why can't she just have it with grace and ease? And they're saying that you too also have that right and wrong. I have to do it the right way. Because without fighting for it, then you're not doing it the right way. So think about when you were growing up. Did you feel like if it was handed to you, that would be wrong? Even in the bloodline of who you are, that if you, like, for instance, through history, women, even the color of your skin, the religious background, think about all those aspects of who you are. Any in those cultures, did you have to fight just to have the right to be who you are? And if you do, then understand that that's going to play a part of how you are going to interact with reality today.
Or if you were if somebody came along, through that history and gave something to somebody, were there consequences to pay? Would the rest of the family say, well, why did you take that gift? That means that such and such and such and such is going to happen, and now we're marked, and then that's what I see happening, unfolding, that when you receive something, then all of a sudden there's just, nothing in life is free, and so there's going to be hell to pay.
Well,
there's going to be...
That would make sense, because I kept seeing wounded pride in it, but I knew it wasn't hers.
Right. I feel
so
like there's something genetically or...
So if you got this easy, would other people be saying stuff like this to you that's in the family, going, oh, you shouldn't have done that?
Absolutely, but we don't care about what they think.
Yeah, you're right. We don't care about what they think.
But it's in your DNA coding.
But it does affect how you create your reality every day, and it will affect how you create your future. And we want it more with grace and ease, and not with hardship.
Right, and it is part of your DNA whether you realize it or not, and that becomes part of that. I mean, it's part of who you are.
Okay, so knowing, now this is familiarity, and knowing this familiarity, you put it on a scale from 0 to 10, you give it a color, and you can also go and do the meridian tapping, which you go to mwreveal.com and look under healing tools, and the meridian tapping, because take what we just said, even though if I choose to do this, they're all going to be mad at me, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Find the phrases to fit in there, because they don't need to be your framework for your future. They are part of your foundation, and if you tap it out, then you're going to have more success. Does this make sense? Now I'm going to do I'm going to do a quick reading.
I said that before, and I absolutely love that. When in doubt, tap it out.
Exactly. Okay, so now if she heals, what about this business? If she heals, what about this business? And I'm shuffling cards. So go ahead, Jen. When she heals this, and she gets it really deep, then she's going to be able to, let's see, there must be something else I need to address. Yes. All right, so what else? Okay. The idea that you were taught that you can't trust people. Does that make sense? Okay, if that's part of your
Yes.
right, if that's part of your foundation, the only way that you can learn to trust people is if you fight for what you want. Now, again, this stops you because it's creating all this energy you're putting in to keep creating this reality all the time. It's stopping you further from having your dream. So, if she were to tap out, that I was taught that I can't trust people, and she taps that out, then what will happen to her career? Okay, so now I got to figure out what this card is, and I'm going to have Jen read it real quick. We picked the spark card in reverse.
Oh.
Sometimes your fire gets doused by others who don't want you to be all that you can be.
Okay, stop. They want you to reorganize. So you're going to go into a self-process of correcting. All right, so what they're doing is they're showing you step-by-step strategy of how if you were to break the first rule, this is what will happen. If you break the second rule, this will happen. You break the third rule, this will happen. And they're saying it's all doable. You just get in there and notice that when they tell you, so read that first line again.
Sometimes your fire gets doused by others who don't want you to be all that you can be.
And do you feel like that? Do you feel like you have people in your space that make you feel that way?
Yes.
Okay.
They say one thing, and I know that they mean something completely different. Yes.
Okay, so you're used to having your spark squashed. So you can say, even though people treat me like this, I deeply, completely love and accept myself. And then once you feel like, again, get the color and the number down to 0 and white. So now, in the third thing, when she heals that, what will be her career? Ha! You're going to be able to have more awareness to be able to do what?
More.
To notice when all of the steps of your life, everything that you've created, notice that you're going to find the stuff, how you have corrected yourself so much as you've stopped yourself. That you're now going to pay attention to, oh, I used to say that to myself. That's what makes me not get what I want. No, I don't have to do that. You're going to be able to have a second choice about doing something. Jen had picked out a set of cards, so go ahead and read it.
So what needs to be disrupted are these restrictions placed on you, and it's by the yang energy, by authority, and you may not buy into it, but I feel it may be part of the history of when we talk about the patriarchy and how men used to do this and how there's a glass ceiling that needs to be broken and women are always going to be paid this much money less than men. Those are the beliefs that need to be disrupted, because there are men out there who are awesome and who are actually like what do we call them? Liberated men.
But there's also how women carry that male energy and will try to keep you in line so that you don't get hit in the future.
Right, to protect it. I got to protect you.
Like, for instance, we
You
love...
hit the nail on the head.
Good.
Because I'm leading this team of, really, they are a league of extraordinary men. But I think that it can backfire. That sometimes I can really act like a man, even though I've never been called one in my life.
Well, that's good. Okay, so just go ahead, and there's a lot of stuff here that they're asking you to heal and to address so that you can have great success in the area that you're choosing, because it is part of the calling. It is part of where you're supposed to open up and move in that direction. So that is a good thing. Now, because there's so much more we could actually cover, because they really said, oh, she needs to address this and this and this. Remember, we're soul coaches, and we have, we do have services, so you can go on our website. If you need our service, you go ahead, call up, make an appointment, and we can help you one-on-one so we can go much faster and have you heal right along with when we're giving you the information. Because, doing a radio show, we give the information, and hopefully you'll heal later. But, so if you need us, just start looking for us. But please look at the video, go listen to the archives again, so you can really address a lot of the things that, that's going to hold you back or be part of the old foundation. Time to heal that, okay?
Absolutely. And all your information is right here, mwreveal.com?
Correct. Everything is all there.
Oh.
We appreciate you, dear, calling in, and keep contact.
We will. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Brenda. Love you much.
Thank
you. Take care.
All right. So what we're going to do is take a quick little break, and then we'll be back. And who will be up next?
We have area code 510 is up next.
Okay, so we'll be back after this. And like we promised, who's up?
We have area code 510. You are on the air with Brenda and Jen.
Hello. Mike, 517 or 510, your mic is on. We might have problems. What we're going to do is we're going to put you back on hold. We're going to take the next caller, and then we'll come back to 510.
Okay. Area code 207.
You're on the air. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
And thank you for calling. How can we help you?
Good question. This is not my best day. I feel crappy as it is. And with the situation that I'm facing with my house, where I'm hoping to be able to find a way to stay here as opposed to having to move, it's been a real mess. But today somebody called me from an apartment complex where I had put in an application only because I had to, not because I chose to.
Right.
And I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, and I'm just feeling like, oh God, please save me from this.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to find out.
It would be very traumatic if I had to move. It's
Okay.
nobody gets it.
Well, it's when your home is your home. It's that familiarity, it's the safety, and it's the bond.
That you've built, that you've created, that you've put the time and energy into.
And I feel like
It's a place that was an inheritance, for one thing.
Right. I just feel like somebody is going to take it away. I feel like a little kid. So I feel like I'm about 2 years old, feeling that it's like my favorite dolly. They're going to take it away, and they're going to. So when you were younger, did you have stuff taken away from you?
I can't. Other than what, Mike? I am trying to think, and I don't.
Okay.
No.
If nothing pops up right now.
I'm trying to remember, and it's.
Well, right now you're stressed, and one of the things that happens when you're stressed is 80% of the blood leaves your forebrain, so you can't really think you're way out of a paper bag. In this case, you're not able to really recall a lot of things because your body is trying to fight, flee, and run to do what it needs to do to survive. So, if it doesn't sound familiar, then that's okay. We will go further. I drew a card that said, the field of dreams. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are always engaged in the vast field of pure potential. This is a perfect time to harness the field of vast potential not yet realized in your life. Great abundance is yours if you're willing to do the work alongside the gentle gardener. Be clear about your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Concrete on the best life regarding of the temporary outer conditions imposed upon you by the greater world, which has its own story to tell. You have a basket full of seeds that are quite powerful, for the talents are divinely inspired and will indeed lead to great harvest to be shared with others. You will reap what you sow. Big dreams, dream beautiful, take action, and tend to the garden of your life and experience extraordinary. So it sounds like you're going to be able to keep what you're looking for and what you have, but you're used to having struggle. Now, if I ask your soul, I'm going to ask your soul, so why is this projecting so that she has to go through maybe losing the house, is that they said that you're used to this. It's a wallowing process. You're used to having a story. You're used to having these issues of something that is yours and going to be taken away. Does that sound familiar?
I've been fighting this for a number of years, so yes, I'm used to it. And I really understand when you're used to something, it's scary not to have it,
right?
Even though you don't want it. You know what I mean? I'm sure you know what I mean.
Okay.
My life has been a struggle.
That's what they're saying. Is that you're used to this, so this is not a surprise to your soul or to you that you have to fight for what you want. And they're saying that you could be done with this. And so I'm asking, well, what can she do so she can stop having to have this constant struggle and fight? And it says, listening to how other people's wallow. Okay, so what they're referring to is, kind of imagine your friends right now that are around you, and what you grew up with. And what kind of attitude do they have? When I grew up, everybody around me was great people, but they were very negative. The talk was always negative, and I was not that. I was the opposite of negative. I had to force myself to become negative to live in that environment, and it did a lot of great damage to me until I got older and realized, why am I still creating this? So I had to heal it from my foundation. So what, Jen?
I feel like this needs to be brought into the conversation because there's something being said in the chat room that needs to be addressed. Whether this person is used to having somebody say this, I don't
Okay,
No.
so let's see what the
Okay.
clues are.
So this person said, "Oh, if you don't ever earn it, is it yours to keep?" No, because you're spoiled, and now they're stressed. If all you ever do is inherit stuff, you don't do the work to have that home. And I've got a friend, got everything, never learned how to do anything to keep the things they got. The lesson here is to do the work, to have what you have, not just get things that are given to you, and that is why they struggle having someone else provide everything. So I said it was interesting. So the universe can't provide through gifts and inheritance. Not if you don't do the work to keep up the inheritance, someone else does all the work to get it, and you can't sustain it, you never earned it yourself.
Okay, those are all belief systems, and they're decisions that became limited because this is what you lived and learned, and this is true for you. So now, is this true for the caller? Now, does what Jen has said, does that sound familiar, that you have to earn it?
You know, I think it all depends. I mean, for me, it was something that I wasn't, you know, when I was, I was almost 19 years old, not quite when I inherited the house. I didn't expect to inherit anything.
Okay.
I didn't know it was going to happen to me, and when it did, my parents didn't exactly tell me everything because I didn't realize that what my grandparents had done was make me their sole heir. I didn't find that out till somewhere in the 90s after everybody was gone. Well gone.
Wow.
Pretty much. I didn't, you know, I don't feel like, because I inherited something that makes me any less deserving of keeping it.
Okay, now, what about the people around you? What kind of attitudes do they have? This is very important to understand.
Okay. There are people around me. There are people across the street from me. I have known her all her life. Her parents, I met her parents when they moved in across from my grandparents. Mm-hmm. And they were, you know, like my usher and my matron of honor at my wedding. Oh. Now, I've known this young woman, she's in her 40s now, all her life, and I thought we were friends, and when things started to go really bad around here with the town and all, she said, "I hope you know you can trust me." I thought I could trust her. I thought I could trust her husband, and friends warned me I couldn't. And she betrayed me.
Okay, so
you're... did he, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he was somebody that thought, I can get my hands on this place.
Okay, so you're
He's
used
not
to...
very well liked anyway.
So you're used to, so that's what we gotta look for. Okay.
So do you have any siblings?
Out there somewhere, there are possibly 3 half-siblings that I have never met, know nothing about.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm an only child.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to look at several different options because decisions and belief, even though they may be true, they are causing the limitations, so you can't live your life fully. So the first thing I'm going to ask your soul is she supposed to stay in this house? It becomes a yes-no, which means that it's still up in the air. If she let this house go, will she be able to fill more dreams? No, because you're focused on thinking that you didn't do a good job of keeping the house. So it's like you didn't live up to somebody's standards. Now they're saying, yes, bingo. So here's the question. Do you feel like somebody had standards and you didn't live up to them?
I think I let myself down more than anything else.
That is true, and so there's the denigration in the process, and that the RTJ in our brain is the right temporal junction frontal lobe. Its job is to think what other people think. So you're constantly, in a way, thinking what other people think, and it's really causing you to be stuck in being in this limitation of who you are. So all the stuff that's being addressed. I'm going to ask you, so what is the first thing that she needs to heal? And it is to notice that the people that you bring into your space, they like to whine. And that they tell you that that you can trust me, but they're actually, so this is what I call silver platter people. It's when you are learning to have the relationship with people and they say they're nice to you, they want to help you, but as soon as you give yourself fully to them, then they backstab you. The reason that my life turned out like the way it did was because I trusted my father fully with loving me, and then he was a very abusive person, so I was always feeling it coming out of nowhere, and it didn't make any sense. And when you start to build emotional relationships with people in the future, it is based on how you had those emotional relationships with your family members. And if it was rocky in the start, you can carry that into the future. And what I feel here is that people say they don't like. Okay, that's interesting. So what are people's opinions of children that don't have siblings? When you were growing up, did you have anybody that would address this? Being the only child, expected to be spoiled?
No, I
Okay.
didn't expect to be spoiled.
Well, not
I
you,
don't.
not you, not
I
you.
don't think I was. I actually don't think that I was spoiled.
From
I
what?
didn't expect everything to be handed to me on a silver platter, and it wasn't. I grew up in a family where both my parents had to work
Okay,
because, or we wouldn't, you know. I
okay.
didn't. No.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying you thought this of you. I'm saying, what did the people around you think?
You know, I don't think they gave it much thought. I mean, as the people around me, I grew up with, the neighborhood I grew up in, everybody had siblings. I didn't. But that was just the way it was.
Okay. So what I'm noticing is that there is a particular pattern that somebody has influence over you, and I gotta figure out what this is. So,
Somebody actually asked in the chat room about my name, and they haven't said anything since I admitted that my name was Dorothy.
okay. So are you used to being picked on? Are you used to being questioned? Are you used
Yes.
to... Okay, there you
I'm
go.
used to being, yeah,
Okay.
I'm used to being picked on. God, yes.
Okay, that's what I want you to understand. If there's any of that stuff in your past, it's going to haunt you, and it's only going to increase. If you didn't get it the first time, it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse until your soul says it's time to release it. Now, your soul has been telling you that there's something that you need to address. And if you don't address it and heal it and resolve the issue, then it's only going to get worse than the first. So in this case, now let's look at, if you're used to being picked on, and a lot of it, now do you know why you get picked on?
I sometimes I think that when you're different, you're going to get it. Even if growing up people didn't know I was different, they didn't. I mean, I must have sent off some vibes because even I didn't know about myself when I was little. Because I'm a medium myself, among other things, and I didn't know because I shut myself off.
Right. And so what they're saying is that the main thing that you need to heal. Now, what's called an attraction factor is that there's a piece of energy that's inside of us that attracts people into our world. And so if you're attracting these type of people, then we have to understand that your inner world creates your outer world, and we need to address and resolve a particular thing. They're going back to the age of 2 years old when you had been who you are, but the people around you had this a simple part of the authority as if they were like an older sibling, pissed because you were treated with great kindness, or you got, and it was just easy for you. Your lot in life was that you were supposed to be told that your soul in the past had worked very hard. And so this particular life, you were to have more joys than fears. But you drew people into you that would whine, and because life's not fair. Does this sound familiar?
When you say that, I think of the negative people. When you said 2 years old is my earliest memory when I saw my maternal grandfather in the hospital, and I'm suspecting it was just before he died.
Okay.
That's my earliest memory. But I do remember that I had friends in my life. I mean, I'm used to people that stepped into my life, and you know, people became best friends, and then they betrayed me.
Okay, so you
That's
understand.
happened several times over.
Exactly. The first time you ever were betrayed was inside the womb. So now I've got to look. About 8 months inside the womb, you felt betrayal. So that means, was it yours? No. Your mother, you're carrying on something from your mother's past that you know what betrayal is. So she may have felt betrayal going on in her life. You inside the womb felt and understood that it's betrayal, that energy, and that is something that needs to be addressed and resolved, because otherwise you're going to keep carrying and bringing people into this space that do this to you. So now I have to look. Yep, so it doesn't say it's directly to you. Your mother went through an experience Your body took it on, and the body. Okay, so now I've got to look. What are we going to heal? She felt like she's betrayed. Okay, so they want you to wrap your mind around to what we're saying, and the main thing that is, it's not landing on something. So have somebody in your life right now that thinks that they know more than you?
Well, certainly the guy across the street thinks he knows more than everybody.
Okay, so you're used to having that energy.
But he's there. But I mean, he's not so front and center in my life, because once, after the betrayal and all, there hasn't been the same friendship. I wouldn't trust him, as my mother would say, as far as I could throw a piano.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have you heal and resolve, and there's what they call the healing tool, cord switching. The cord switching is very important, because what you're doing is the relationship energy that you have with people. And you really need to do that particular cord switching so that you can heal the goobers they put on you and the stuff that you feel like they took from you. The imbalance of what's going on in your relationships with people. And what it's going to do is going to heal the familiarity, the pain, the aches, and it'll start to resolve this. You will then detach from people you'll stop bringing those people into your space, and you'll actually get to realign with people that are more in line with you and not against you or trying to control you. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So you have to understand that if you don't address this with a healing tool, then you're just going to continue to have this happen. We don't want to just give you information and then just have you think about it with theory, because your reality keeps creating, the moment you wake up, every day, you recreate the same reality. We're telling you you can change how the future can be by stopping these particular signals that your brain keeps putting out.
And rather than just buying into the human mindset of, you need to do this, this is what's going to happen, if you do this, then this, then this, then
all
this.
All the should-haves, there's
and
not
then,
enough toilet paper for it.
Exactly, and so then all you're doing eventually is just pushing a rock up a hill, and everybody's telling you, well, you should have done this, you should have done that, you should have done this, you should have done that. Where a healing tool actually creates the closure, changes the energy, changes your attraction factor,